Okay, welcome back, everybody. So, this is the continuation of my Norse initiation when Freya showed up. Now, if you haven't listened to the first part with Odin, I suggest you go and listen to that first. It's a little over a half hour, apparently, but you can break it up into bits and pieces, and you might find it entertaining. So, at a certain point, Freya just shows up, and everything else stops. And I'm back at one of the places where I used to live when I was in high school. And she's there. I'm in the living room of that house. And Freya is there. And she's in white robes with some sort of sash around her waist, like golden colored or light yellow colored. And she's holding what looks like a vase or some container, but it looks like a flower vase. Like it was slender, and then it had like kind of that curve and tapering, to the bottom. And I start going through some of the memories in that house that were stressful. I'll just leave it at that. But as I'm going through those memories, she is sucking out this negative, like this black brownish energy, and it's going into her vase that she's holding. And I could feel up until that point, when I thought about those memories and I thought about those stressful times, I would think on it here and there, and my emotions would be high, and it would be quite distressing. And she was sucking out all that negative energy from it. And I could feel like it didn't impact me the same way. I could go back and look at those memories, and I wasn't overwhelmed anymore. It wasn't such a big deal like it used to be to me. I could go through, I could process, I could look at certain things, I could analyze things a different way than I saw it before, instead of all shifting to the negative, to how bad the experience might have been and how much it hurt me. And this went on, and it changed other memories and to other things in my life. A bunch of things. Felt like a few minutes. And then it kind of started slowing down, and then it stopped. And then she said, okay, that should be good enough to get you started. And that should help you out a little bit. Like, what? Thanks. And then the scenery changed again. And I was with her, and it was nighttime. And there was drumming, like very tribal type drumming. I found out later it's like shamanic beats that were going on. And it made sense with everything because of Freya's specialties and what she's known for when I looked up the myths about her later. And at a certain point, it got physical with her, with Freya. She started to get physical with me. First, we were dancing, and then the dancing became more erotic. And it was like we were just about ready to take things to the next level and in the vision. But I have major issues with certain aspects of intimacy. And I thanked her for everything. And I said, I'm not ready for this yet, but I appreciate it, Freya. Thank you so much. And she seemed a little disappointed, but she acknowledged my boundaries, and she backed off. I'm trying to remember what other things she had. So that was the end of pretty much what I can remember of her in my Norse initiation. I think she might have said a few more things to me. I felt so much better, healed in a lot of ways from those painful, stressful memories in the past, especially having to do with that house. There was a lot of stuff in that house that happened, and it wasn't good. It wasn't positive, and it definitely affected me in a detrimental way for a long time, for many years afterwards. In certain ways, it may still affect me, but she helped out a lot. Now, my other experiences with Freya years later, one of the things is very important for her, if you're working with her, is for you to do shadow work. And so this was during the pandemic, right? She directed me to a certain book online. And as a lot of you know, during the pandemic, like, shipping for things would take months. And when I looked on Amazon with the book that she suggested, the estimated time for it was like 3 months from now. I was like, Freya, it's going to take a while. Like, I could order the book. And she's like, don't worry, I'll take care of that. And I was like, all right. So I ordered the book, and I ordered a few other things. And some other things having to do with Magick. She said she'd help me out with it. I said, okay. So, like, 2 days later, the book shows up on my doorstep. They shipped it already. I'm like, okay, Freya. Okay, gotcha. Now, the name of the book that she wanted me to get is from Christopher Penczak. He's had a lot of books on witchcraft, apparently. And it was his book on shamanic witchcraft. That's the one she specifically wanted me to get. Now, I don't have any other books of his, and I wasn't particularly drawn to any of his stuff. But there are certain times in meditation when I was directed a certain way, and I asked her, and this book popped up in my mind's eye. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out, and, And sure enough, in 2 days, she got it to me. She showed up to me in visions like a shield maiden would sometimes, complete with shield and sword, and we kind of sparred, and she'd be talking with me. How's it going? How's everything going? How are you doing? She would show up, just checking up on me, and we would spar. Like in the vision, we're sparring together as I'm meditating and, inviting her presence. And one of the things that she stressed, especially for me, because she's a goddess of love, and I'll just say eroticism, if I can say that on the YouTube, so that I don't get any red flags. War, magic, abundance, wealth, fertility, a whole bunch of... She's what I would consider to be an all-rounder. You can pretty much go to her for anything. She's very powerful. And yeah, I was talking with her, and one of the things that she stressed specifically with me is it was very important to honor my warrior aspect, which I used to be really big into martial arts. I was a big Bruce Lee fan. I studied his Jeet Kune Do system. I got his books, the 4-volume, I think it was 4-volume set called The Bruce Lee Fighting Method. If anyone is interested in Bruce Lee and believes he was just an actor, whatever ideas you have in your head, get those books, do those exercises, and you tell me if you are not a better fighter or a better warrior. And it hasn't improved your punching power, your speed, your awareness, your footwork, Everything. He broke down everything. The guy was so ahead of his time. He was like, anyway. So Freya stressed for me to get back into martial arts. But I got to get my life together because the way my work is and everything, I have to now use my power and my own influence to now mold my life to fit martial arts back in. And I miss it. I'll watch movies. I'll watch kung fu movies and animes. And when I get into the fighting, it gets me hyped up. It gets me hyped up. And that's one of the things that makes me feel alive. And it's something I was good at it. I could pick it up quick. So she stressed that for me. That was very important that I take up martial arts again. It's a part of me and a part I've been neglecting, and it'll help with a lot of things. And it was great for stress relief back then because I took it up because of a whole bunch of anger issues that I had because of some very abusive things that went on in my life earlier to childhood and beyond. And I needed a way to funnel that anger. And martial arts was a great way to do that and to show me how to fight off the bullies. Let's just say once I did fight back, the bullies didn't want anything to do with me. Yeah. So the other things of Freya, a few times she came to me in some dreams. I'd asked for some healings, for some protection, and she showed me certain things about different people in my life that they were hurting me. They didn't realize they were hurting me, but it's kind of like when a Christian prays for you and they think they're doing the right thing, but they're sending their own spiritual warfare your way. It was something like that with someone close to me. So she showed me that, and there was a time when she just came and put her hand at one of my sides, and energy went through me, and it hurt. But I needed physical healing, and it hurt really bad for a few seconds. It's like she was welding something. But afterwards, I felt so much better when I woke up, and I thanked her about it. Yeah, she's badass, and she's powerful, and she's patient to a certain point. But if you aren't getting on your stuff and you say you're going to do something, she'll get a little more adamant. She'll start pushing you to do what you said you were going to do. So yeah, that's my experiences with Freya so far, and during the initiation into the Norse family and current, and how she's already helped me and some of the things that she's done for me already. I'll be forever grateful. Hail Freya. Good night, everyone.